Yo, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video on Balba. In this video, I'll be doing another Neo Soccer League video. This one will be all the skills ranked in order. I'll be going over every single skill, showcasing it, and then ranking them. So yeah, before we get into the video, my current sub goal is 800 subs by the end of the week. If we can get that, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, let's get right into the video. Alright, so here I am in game. So obviously we're going to be starting it out with the dribble skills, and then we'll be moving into shooting, and then we'll move into the utility ones. So yeah, so obviously we're going to start off with the dribbling moves. I'll be showing you guys what every one of them do, and then I'll be ranking them. So the first one is going to be the feint. So obviously there's left side feint where you just go that way and then you go right. That one's all right, I guess, but most of the time you're on the right side of the field, so you're actually going to want the right side feint more. At least in my personal, like, whenever I play a game, I find myself on the right side of the field way more than I find myself on the left side. So I just would personally say use right side, but whatever side you use, I recommend using the opposite for the elastic. So this is what elastic looks like. So it pretty much just makes you go super far forward. In my opinion, the dribbling moves actually aren't that crazy. But yeah, here's the right side. So it's pretty much the same thing except you're going right. So in my personal experience, I would say the feints are either high C tier or low B tier. And then the elastics would just be high B tier or very low A tier. They're good, but they're not the main things that really are broken in this game. So yeah, the next thing that I'll be going over is going to be the shooting. But yeah, the dribbling skills in this game aren't terrible. I just recommend the other ones a bit more. But yeah, you can get away with just only using one dribbling move. It kind of just depends. If you want to get through defenders, then I recommend the feint more, because the feint is better for getting through defenders because it just fakes them out. But if you want to get up the field faster, then I recommend using an elastic. Either direction, it really doesn't matter. It's a very slight difference. But in my personal experience of the game, I would say to use the elastic over the feint. But I would highly recommend only using one dribble skill in this game because they're not that strong. So the elastics are going to go high B tier or very low A tier. And then the feints will be pretty much mid B tier level. Like, they're alright, but they're not insane. So the next thing that we'll be going over is all the shots. So there's left curved, right curved, obviously. There's long shot, there's lob, and then there's also the gyro shot. Alright, so now I'll be showing you guys what all these do. In my personal opinion, I think the shot skills are probably the best thing in this game. I recommend using at least 2 of them, just depending on whatever you want. But yeah, starting off with the curves. So pretty much with the curve shot, the left one, you can shoot a little bit to right, I think, and then it would curve in, so it would look something like this. So yeah, as you guys can see, it curved in. The curve on the ball isn't actually that good, and in my personal opinion, I would say the curve shots are definitely the worst one. There is some like cool stuff that you can do with it, but they're honestly not that strong of a skill. So my personal opinion, I would put the curve shot probably like low B tier or high C tier. They're not that good, and probably the only skill that I can say to 100% like not use. And the next one is going to be long shot, which is the complete opposite. So long shot, you can really shoot from like mid court and make it just like this. So as you guys can see, that would go in and like honestly be pretty hard for the AI GK to save. In my personal opinion, I would say long shot is definitely S tier. Definitely the best shot skill out of them all, and probably the one that I highly recommend you use the most out of all the skills in the game. But the next one is lob. So you can use lob as a pass because obviously that's just how lob works. So this is what lob actually looks like. So as you guys can see, it goes pretty far and stays in the air for quite a while. But to actually use it in a shot, you pretty much just barely charge it and then shoot with it. So in my personal opinion, I would say lob is like high B tier or low A tier, kind of like the elastics. Like it's really good, but I just don't recommend it for the average person, and I would not recommend it over gyro shot either. But yeah, here's what it would look like while shooting. So you pretty much just get like around here and then barely charge it, something like that, and then it would lob over the GK and make the goal. But next will be gyro shot. So gyro shot is another one of those ones where it's like really good, and I highly recommend everyone to use it. But it's not nearly as good as long shot. But yeah, that's why it's under high A tier. So this is what gyro shot actually looks like. So it's pretty much just lob, but it like bounces a lot more. And goes down a lot quicker. So as you guys can see, the range on it is honestly farther than long shot. Now the only problem with it is you kind of have to shoot it. It's actually how you shoot a lob. You pretty much did around here, and then you barely charge it, and then it'll go in. Obviously, as you guys can see, you have to barely charge it because even that one missed. And gyro shot actually does go farther than lob, so it is pretty hard to make. But it's definitely the second best shooting skill, and the one that I recommend just as much as long shot. I recommend you use them both on pretty much every build that you decide to run. But yeah, the overall rankings is going to be the curve shots are going to go high C tier or low B tier. Long shot is going to go S tier. Lob is going to be like low A tier or high B tier. And then gyro shot is going to be like high A tier. That's where I personally put it because it just has more usefulness than lob shot. Yeah, now into the utility ones. So there's only currently 2 utility skills, and they're sprint burst and super jump. Now, in my personal experience of playing the game, I recommend you use both of these just as much as the other. So both of these are really good, and I highly recommend them. The only thing is that I recommend sprint burst way more than super jump, but they both do have their own uses. So the thing about super jump is that you can actually get the ball pretty much every single time when the GK kicks it. Yeah, pretty much the GK would kick it around here, and then all that you would have to do is like come around here, super jump, and then slide, and you pretty much get the ball every time. The only problem with that is that you have to learn how to time it. So that's why a super jump is going to go high A tier and not S tier. Now sprint burst is definitely going to go S tier. It's probably the only skill that I can recommend you use on literally everything. It's definitely the most versatile and the best skill in the game. What sprint burst does is just makes you run faster for like I think 5 seconds, but it is very helpful for a lot of things. So one of the main uses for it is whenever you are dribbling, let's say you're dribbling with the ball and you get around half court and all the defenders are on you, what you can do is simply just pop it and then dribble a lot faster and get through them and then score just like that, and it would honestly be super easy, not even that hard. Now the only problem with it is that it does have a super long cooldown of 65 seconds. So that means in an actual game you can use it around 9 times. The skill is still really good. You can use it for multiple things. You can use it to get past defenders quickly. You can use it to dribble faster. There's multiple reasons to use it. So yeah, that's why it's going to go in S tier, just because it's the most versatile and probably the only skill that I can say that 100% use on every single build that you use. But yeah, now I'll be going over everything one more time. So for dribbling moves, I would put the feints in like mid B tier or like very high C tier. It's around in that range. They're really good, but they're not too insane compared to the elastics. Elastics will be going high B tier or low A tier. They're really good, and I recommend you use at least one of them every build that you use. But at the same time, the shooting skills are pretty much just better. The curve shots are going to go the same as feints. High C tier or low B tier. They're not that good, but every other shot here is insane. Long shot is guaranteed S tier. It's just really good for scoring goals, and probably how I scored most of mine. Lob is good. It has a lot of arc. It's really useful for passing. So if they ever add a lead to this game, then I highly recommend using lob. But at the same time, you can store a lot of goals with it, so it definitely has a lot of uses. And then next is gyro shot, which is pretty much just a mix of these two. It is a lob type shot, but it also has a lot of power to it and is really good for storing goals, so I highly recommend gyro shot. And then obviously I recommend you use sprint burst. Sprint burst is definitely the strongest skill in the game. It makes you sprint 4 times faster for 6 seconds. But super jump isn't bad either, for getting the ball whenever the GK kicks it, but that is pretty much the only use that it has. So that's why super jump is going to go high A tier, and sprint burst is going to go top of S tier. So pretty much if you were to make a build, this is how I would recommend you do your build. So I would say like right speed elastic, and then I would say long shot, and then I would say gyro shot, and then I would say both of these as your last ones if you're going for the most balanced build. Now obviously if you want to be like Batra, then you can use 2 or 3 dribbling moves plus long shot and gyro shot. Or if you want to be mainly shooting, then you can use long shot, gyro shot, lob, sprint, and then 1 dribbling move. So it kind of all depends on what build you want to use, but these skills right here is what I personally recommend you use. This is the most balanced build that you can have in the game so far. Once when the full game actually comes out, it's definitely going to make a difference because not all your stats will be matched, and it's going to actually take a long time to get the skills. But even when that does come out, I would say just go straight for shooting. Shooting skills are definitely the best overall in the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I wanted to make this real quick, just so you guys can actually know what skills to use and how I would personally rank them. Obviously, this whole video was in my opinion. You guys can have different ones. But I was talking to some leaderboard players or people that used to be on the leaderboard, and they pretty much had the same opinions as me. So if you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe. My current goal is 800 subs, and let me know if you want more Neo Soccer League videos or whatever game you guys want to see next in my next video. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.